usurpers! Number
Yes, it's working. It's fucking working. Alright, stream, here's the plan. We're gonna rank every single one of the fucking classic World of Warcraft dungeons. Here we are, stream. Alright, let's start the shit. Black Fathom Deeps. How do we feel about Black Fathom Deeps, stream? Hold on. Alright. Should be good. How do we feel about Black Fathom Deeps? I think it's a solid C. It's kinda ass. Season of Discovery hyped it up. Blackrock Depths is the best dungeon of all time, and it's not even close. That's an easy S. Blackrock Depths is an easy S. Dire Maul is a solid B. That is definitely for sure. Gnomergon, I feel, personally, deserves the A. And I know that might be a crazy take for some of you guys, but I really think Gnomergon is that good. LBRS, or is that upper? Oh, it's lower. Okay, I think it's better. I don't know. I think it's around where Dire Maul would be. Where do we want to put Maraudon, stream? Maraudon's an interesting dungeon with interesting mechanics. But I think it's about the same as Black Fathom Deeps. RFC Ragefire Chasm, for what it is, for a tutorial dungeon, it is a really good dungeon. You know, I think it's better than Dire Maul, but I don't think it's better than Gnomergon, and I don't think it's good enough to get an A. Razorfen Downs? Where should Razorfen Downs go, stream? I think it's better than those two, easily, but I don't think it's better than lower. Razorfen Crowell's just in the same boat, you know what I mean? It's just too big. Scalamant is an easy S tier. Absolutely phenomenal music, phenomenal design, and so is Shadowfang Keep, stream. These three are three of the best dungeons ever. Scarlet Monastery. It's not better than Gnomergon. Maybe iconic-wise it is, but I like Gnomergon more, so Gnomergon's gonna stay in the A. I think the Stockade is... It's with Ragefire, where it's... You know, I think it's better than Ragefire, but I don't think it does enough to get the A tier. Stratholme, high A. Easily. Lore-wise, it's an S, but gameplay-wise, I think it's a solid A. Sunken Temple's D. We can get that out of the way. It's the worst dungeon ever. Fuck you, Sunken Temple. Dead Mines. Ooh. We'll have to come back to Dead Mines. I don't know. Where do we want to put Uldamon? Uldamon is a cool-ass dungeon. You know, I prefer it over Dire Maul, so we'll give it the B. I think that's fair, stream. Wailing Caverns. Better than Sunken Temple, but still fucking trash. D. Zul'Farrak. This take might surprise a lot of people here. Low B. Overrated. Very overrated. And for our last one, the Dead Mines. Where are we going to put the Dead Mines? Ooh. I think we go under Uldaman, and I think that's the definitive list for classic fucking World of Warcraft dungeons stream. You know what it is? It's time for the Burning Crusade. My beloved expansion. It's really gonna be hard for me to not give everything an S tier on this, but here we are. Get off. Get off. Aki any Crips! Terrible take, that's crazy. For Zul Farak, or which dungeon were you saying specifically, CJax? For a classic. But for the Burning Crusade, Aki any Crips as a dungeon, I thought the heroic was really good. But I don't think it was that good, so we're gonna give it a B. It's a high B. Slabs, Shadow Labyrinth, it's too long. It's just too long, and it's kind of forgettable. Sethic Halls. When you think of Sethic Halls, all you think is the mount, right? So I think C. Mana Tombs is a solid dungeon. Mana Tombs was the boosting spot in TBC Classic. But dungeon-wise, I don't think it's better than Aki any Crips. OHB. Lore-wise, OHB is an S. OHB is fucking awesome. But I think dungeon-wise, Old Hillsbrad's gonna have to go in D. It's too open. It's not really a dungeon, it's more of an area. Black Morass. Better than Hillsbrad, worse than Slabs. No, we'll put it in C. I think it deserves that, at least. Slave Pens, easy A. It's not even close. The Slave Pens is one of the best dungeons ever. The intro, well, it wasn't the intro, but the amount of Naga that are in these 3 dungeons, for the Naga to be such a cool race, I think the Slave Pens was the perfect way to represent them as a race. The Steam Vault. You know, I think it's better than Sethic, but I don't think it's anywhere near Mana Tombs. There's a huge gap right there between those two. Underbog. Underbog can take the low B. I think that's very fair. Hellfire Ramparts is an easy S. It's not even close. Ramps is the best dungeon in fucking Burning Crusade. Blood Furnace is also another easy S. Shattered Halls. Where are we gonna put Shattered Halls? Ooh. It's so mid. It's so overtly mid. I think it's gonna go low B. MGT. The only thing keeping MGT from S was that dog-ass PvP fight. Low A. Low A for Magister's Terrace. You guys ready for this take? Arcatraz, low C. Mechanar, low C. Botanica, low C. They all fucking sucked. I'm being real. They were all kind of dog-ass. That is the definitive Burning Crusade dungeon list. So you know what that means, stream. It's time for Wrath of the Lich King. Here we are. This is gonna be an insane take right here. But I think Forge of Souls is a high S. Lore-wise, it's a machine that just runs off of souls. With Bronjaham guarding it, and then a fucking being of unknown origin guarding the cauldron at the end filled with souls. S. Easy S. Easy S. It's not even close. The Nexus. Where is the Nexus gonna go? I'll tell you where it's gonna go. Mediocre. Korstrazi has a shit boss with a shit mechanic. It's not hard, it's annoying. And the Nexus is an annoying dungeon. Oculus is going into lowest. Whatever the lowest possible tier is, the Oculus will always be in that. It is the worst dungeon of all time. The Violet Hold is also mid. Trial of the Champion. Very solid dungeon. Many people think that the raid associated with TOC sucked. I enjoyed them for what they were, and I think Trial of the Champion was a good dungeon. The Black Knight is a great boss fight, whether you like it or not. Utgard Keep. High mid. High mid on Utgard Keep. It's not as good as Utgard Pinnacle, but it's not as bad as the Nexus. Speaking of Utgard Pinnacle, solid. I don't think it's better than TOC, but I think it is a very solid dungeon and deserves the respect that it deserves. Old Kingdom, again, just under Utgard Keep for me. It's a tiny bit too long, but it's fun. Trash? Oh, sorry, I read it wrong. Thank God they're the same thing. Fuck ass crack, knee rub. Drakthorone Keep? Low. Gundrak? Oh, where would Gundrak go? I prefer Drakthorone Keep to Gundrak, so it'll go in mediocre. I think that's a fair assumption. Halls of Lightning. Very solid dungeon. I think the highest of mediocre is where Halls of Lightning should go, stream. Halls of Reflection, easy S. It's not even close. Halls of Reflection is an easy S. Halls of Stone, lowest S. A phenomenal dungeon. Everything except that one fight, the ad fight. Other than that, that dungeon is phenomenal. Pit of Sauron, it's the worst of the ICC dungeons, but I think it is better than Halls of Stone, stream. And the Culling of Stratholme. The Culling of Stratholme. Under the Forge of Souls. There it is, stream. The definitive Wrath Dungeons ranking. There it is, stream. That one was easy. It's time for the Clism now, stream. Here we go. Screen capture. Cataclysm Dungeons. Blackrock Caverns! I'll never complain when it comes up in the heroic random queue, but I would not go out of my way to specific search it. High B. Easy high B. The remake of Dead Mines ruined one of the most iconic dungeons from classic World of Warcraft, so for that, it's gonna go in D. End Time. I haven't had that much experience hands-on with End Time, personally, but I think as a dungeon, from what I can remember, End Time's a C. Let's just get out of the way. Hour of Twilight's a C too. They're just alright. They are just alright. And so is Well of Eternity. The 3 Dragon Souls dungeons are just... Dead Mines is forever peak. See, I agree if you're talking classic Dead Mines. If you're talking like Kata Dead Mines, no, I can't. Blackrock Depths is an S. Blackrock Depths is the best dungeon of all time. It's Kata? Yeah, I'm doing the Kata. I just got done with those 3 expansions before. But, okay, take respected word. I think Blackrock Depths is the best dungeon ever made, and I think it's easy. Dwarfs all day. The dwarfs are the best race in World of Warcraft. It's the only race I'll play. Grim Batol. Stupid hard heroic, if your group doesn't know what they're doing. But dungeon-wise, I think it's just near Blackrock Caverns. I mean, I can't really give anything in Cataclysm an S, because this expansion's horrible. But Tol'Vir. Tol'Vir is low A, in my opinion. It's a very good design dungeon. You know, it really feels like a city when you're in the dungeon. But I can't give it that S. Oh, just get this out of the way. The best dungeon in Cataclysm, the Stone Core. It's not even close. There's a league between these two. There's a league gap between these two. The remake of Shadowfang Keep. How do we feel about the remake of Shadowfang Keep, stream? Taking one of the best dungeons ever and remaking it. It wasn't as bad as the Dead Mines remake. Same here, all my toons are dwarfs, waiting for the day I can be a druid dwarf. All day! All day! Best race of all time. It's not even close. Where should Shadowfang Keep go, stream? Where do we think Shadowfang Keep compares on this list? Shadowfang Keep. Low B, I think, is a fair spot for it. D, you think the remake was that bad of SFK? Maybe. I think it's better than End Time, but I don't think it's as bad as the Dead Mines remake, is my opinion. But this is very opinion based. Throne of the Tides. Just get that out of the way. Fuck that entire dungeon. Absolute trash. Terrible. Terrible dungeon. Vortex Pinnacle, one of the only other dungeons I can somewhat stand in Cataclysm. Not better than Blackrock, but better than Grim Batol. Easily. Zul Aman's remake? I think both of these are F. For taking 2 raids and turning them into dungeons, I think it's trash. And for the fact that they are in the heroic queue, with the mechanics you have to do on them, I don't think they should be dungeons. So this is the World of Warcraft Cataclysm Definitive Dungeons ranking. Big time? Easy. Easy. Alright, let's switch to Mists of fucking Pandaria stream. An expansion that was very, very interesting. Dungeon tier list, Mists of Pandaria. Alright. Gate of the Setting Sun. Phenomenal. Phenomenal dungeon. Gorgeous setting. Interesting bosses. It feels like you're on a big ass wall. I've got to give it the S. I think it's the best dungeon in Mists of Pandaria. And I don't think it's close. Temple of the Black Serpent. Or, what is that? I don't fucking remember that dungeon. Temple of the Something Serpent. I don't remember it. That means it's probably ass. So D. Mogushan Palace. Very solid. Very solid dungeon, Mogushan Palace. I don't think it does anything particularly... Facts, for real. I don't think it does anything particularly good to get it into the A. I just think it's mediocre, so I think it's going to have to go in the B. The Scholomance remake. I forgot. Fuck you for remaking Scholomance, World of Warcraft. Terrible. Terrible. Almost as bad as the fucking Karazhan remake. Scarlet Halls? Oh. You know, I think it goes up there with Mogushan, but I don't think it's as bad as the Scholomance remake. The SM remake. You know, for a remake, I think it was better than the Scholomance remake. Obviously, I'm not a fan of them remaking dungeons, but I think it wasn't as terrible as those two, so I think it deserves a C. Temple! Temple. Interesting dungeon. Very interesting dungeon. I think it's better than the Scarlet Monastery remake, but not as good as those two. And I'm not calling these two dungeons good. They're alright. Gate of the Setting Sun's phenomenal. But I think Temple is around there. Or Siege. What the fuck am I talking about? That's Siege. I can't read. Like, the names are so small. And from how little I played Mists, I don't remember jack shit about these. Monastery? I don't remember Monastery. It's probably better than Scholomance, though. Storm Stout Brewery was my other favorite dungeon in Mists of Pandaria. Easy S. Very fun dungeon. It doesn't do anything particularly great, but for the era and for Mists of Pandaria, I think it deserves the S. Sorry. Okay, here's the next question, stream. Do you want me to do WoD to Legion? Because I don't remember jack from either of those expansions, so this tier list might be a tiny bit off. I think we might just do it. Do Warlords of Draenor next. Go to template. Here it is. Like, I don't remember shit from these. What I do remember is that Grimrail Depot was fucking awesome. That dungeon was sick as fuck. You can say what you want about it. It's not an S, but it's a very solid dungeon. And I very much enjoyed it. Grimrail Depot is going in the A. I don't remember Akiendon that much. It's gonna have to go D. Slag! Slags. Slags was fun. From what I remember, I think I only ran it like twice. I enjoyed it when it came up. We'll give it the high B. Wasn't terrible. Everbloom. Interesting dungeon. Very interesting dungeon. Very, very interesting. I don't think it's better than Slags, though. Iron Docks. I have very little memory of that. Very little memory of this dungeon. But I do remember it more than Akiendon, so it'll go in the high D. Shadow Moon Burial Grounds! There it is! It's not even close! The best dungeon in Warlords of Draenor. Shadow Moon Burial Grounds, and it is not even close. I don't remember Skyreach. And the UBRS remake is terrible. Absolutely terrible. That is the Warlords of Draenor tier list stream. It's time for Legion. It is time for the Legion dungeons. These are going to be the dungeons I remember the least, if I remember any of them. Because I did not play Legion stream. Yeah, I don't remember. Oh, I do, okay. Assault on Violet Hold, I remember that. Black Rook Hold! Let's just get this out of the way. That is an A. Black Rook Hold is an easy A. Very fun dungeon. Very fun, very cool setting. Very interesting setting. Assault on Violet Hold's a high B. I remember it. I wasn't too fond of it, but I do remember it. Cathedral of Eternal Night. Why is there a tier list for Violet Hold? Was it that bad, stream? Was Violet Hold that bad? I thought it was fun. I thought it was fun from when I ran it. I don't remember Cathedral. Change this to IDR. I don't remember Cathedral. I don't remember Court of Stars. Darkheart Thicket sucked balls. I do remember that. Like Violet Hold, it's short and easy. Thank you. I thought it was very solid for Legion. From what I remember from Legion, I thought it was very solid. Halls of Valor. That sounds familiar. Well, Halls of Valor. Fuck, that sounds so familiar. Oh, let's just get this out of the way. Return to Karazhan, solid fucking lowest. Hold on. Can we add in another tier list for trash? Worst dungeon ever? Return to Karazhan, worst dungeon ever. Took the best raid of all time and turned it into the fucking dungeon. The greatest raid in World of Warcraft history. And turned it into a fucking dungeon. No. Eye of Ashara. Very solid. Very solid dungeon. Very fun. Very fun, but it was not better than Violet Hold. I don't remember Halls of Valor, but it's still better than Return to Karazhan. Maw of Souls, I think, wasn't as good as Darkheart Thicket. It was fun. Neltharion's Lair. I have no memory of Neltharion's Lair. Seed of the Triumvirate. Very fun dungeon. Very solid dungeon. And I'm going to put it above Eye of Ashara. I think that's an easy ranking right there. I don't remember the Archway. And I don't remember the Vault of Wardens. Sorry, I don't remember jack shit from Legion. I remember these 5 dungeons. And I remember Return to Karazhan being the worst dungeon ever. And that is the Legion ranking. Okay, now I'm going to remember every dungeon because we're going to my personal favorite expansion, Battle for Azeroth. Which might be a crazy take, but it is my favorite expansion. Easily. Easily. This is going to be hard for me to not give everything an S because I love all these dungeons. Solid A on the Motherlode. Very fun. You know, you would fly through that shit if you had a Brewmaster Monk. Easily. There it is. There it is. It's not even close. Freehold's the best dungeon in BFA. Shrine of the Storm was a solid B. It was a tiny bit too long. Definitely a tiny bit too long. Definitely a tiny bit repetitive. But I found it enjoyable. We can give King's Rest a C. It was kind of ass, if I'm being real. Atal Dazar. Very fun dungeon. What was his name? Razan at the bottom was a very awesome boss. We will give it an A. Leave the motherload over it. I think that's fair. Temple of Sethralis. Temple of Sethralis would be A if it wasn't for groups not knowing how to do the orb part when you're entering to the last boss and wiping everybody. So that we have to give it a high B. I think easily. Siege of Borealis. Oh my god. Phenomenal dungeon. Phenomenal dungeon. Would I ever want to run it again? Fuck no. Terrible. Underrot was very good. The Underrot was very good. It's not better than Atal Dazar, but I think if I get it in Q, I won't be like, wow, this dungeon sucks ass. You know, I'll be like, wow, okay, dungeon's fun. You know what I mean? Waycrest Manor. This is going to be a crazy take, stream. High A. Scary ass dungeon with scary ass motherfuckers inside of it. But a very enjoyable dungeon nonetheless. This is going to be the hottest take of them all. Toldagar, S. It felt like a prison. And when you got to the top with the pirates, incredible. This is the BFA ranking, my favorite expansion ever. I love you, Battle for Azeroth. Where's BFA Classic, Blizzard? Give it to me now. Shadowlands time. Shadowlands dungeon tier list. Community ranking. Go to template. Yeah, there's like fucking 6 dungeons in Shadowlands. Alright, we'll get that out of the way. We'll get the other side out of the way. And we'll get Halls of Atonement out of the way. And we'll get Sanguine Depths out of the way. Terrible dungeons from a terrible expansion. Mists of Tarina Scythe was the best dungeon in Shadowlands. And it's not even close. But the best dungeon in Shadowlands means about fuck all. Because that dungeon was horrible compared to every other expansion. Plaguefall was very good. I thought Plaguefall was very well designed. I thought the Necrotic Wake was a better dungeon. There's a reason Necrotic Wake's back in M+ right now. Spires of Ascension was a C. Just like Theater of Pain being a C. A very quick ranking for a very shit expansion with one memorable dungeon, Mists of Tarina Scythe. Shadowlands. Less than a minute. See if I can even do Dragonflight, if I can remember anything from it, because I hated Dragonflight. No, because that's all the old dungeons, too. Here we go. Alright. Algathar Academy was alright. No, it was a tiny bit too long. I'm gonna have to give it a C. I thought it was just mid. I don't remember Brackenhide Hollow. I did not like Halls of Infusion. I thought it was kind of ass. Neltharius was terrible. We can just get that out of the way. And the best dungeon in fucking this one was Ruby Life Pools. But the thing is, Dragonflight was the worst expansion to date. Dungeon and story-wise. So the highest is going to be B, which shows a lot. Zur Vault was probably better than Algathar. And Knockin' Offensive is an easy F. I think that's a very easy ranking for Shadowlands. And I think Shadowlands was terrible. We have one expansion left, one I have not even seen all of the dungeons in yet because I quit playing it halfway through because it was kind of garbage. But we'll rank what I do remember from the War Within. If there even is... No, there's nothing for it. Here we go, okay. War Within. They brought back Grimbatol. Oh, are these... I don't know if these are remakes or just the M+, so we're not going to put those in. Like, there's 4 dungeons they added with the War Within. Are you fucking kidding me? Stone Vault was cool. Dawnbreaker was alright. What a joke. What a joke. What a joke of an expansion. And that, friends... What? Don't log me out. And that, friends... is the World of Warcraft Dungeons tier list. Let me restart stream so I can upload that VOD.